she didn't ever feel like she was turned down until she had asked to buy it at a particular price and gotten turned down. And I got to tell you, if you're a salesman, 1 in 4, if you got a closing rate of 1 in 4, you think you're doing just fine, just fine. So she never got discouraged. She knew. And of course, if you're buying houses for half their value, and you got a 75% closing average, well, how much is she making in a year in those days? Just in those days. If she buys 4 houses a year at $26,000 off, potentially, right, $100,000 a year. She did that for over 20 years. Every place they went, she went. When she died, my father-in-law came to my house for dinner several weeks later. And we're sitting in the living room, my wife's in the kitchen, and he says to me, first and only time he ever asked me for advice, he says, Gary, he says, what do I do about probate? I said, you mean, what do you do about tax, the death tax? He said, well, yeah. I said, well, I don't think you have to worry about it. Whatever it was then. And I don't even know what it is now, because next year is the sunset, isn't it? You got to die next year. Very good. Actually, my goal, what I'm going to do next year is stay far away from my children. Make sure I don't have any contact at all with my children. My 2 sons probably be all right. My daughter would kill me in a minute. Get a tax-free inheritance. He said, what do you do about probate? And I said, well, you don't have to worry about it. It's $600,000, exemption. So, unless it's over $600,000. He says, well, it's way over $600,000. I said, well, no, that's per person. So because it rolls to you, and then if you die, it's $1.2 million. He says it's a lot more than that. She had money in 73 different savings and loans from Hawaii to Omaha to Florida. Why would you have 73 different accounts in savings and loans? Well, I'm not sure it was 100,000 then, but it was a big number. But if it was 100,000, then she had how much sitting in the bank? Maybe. Well, as much as that, yeah. A lot of money. And it may have been 72 or 81 or something, but it was way over 60 accounts. He told me, and I've just forgotten how many it was, but it was a preposterous number of savings and loan accounts. And I never did figure out the money, but he's lived on that money ever since very nicely. Got himself got a new wife, not a new wife, she's a very good friend of mine, his current wife. He married after a couple of years. Never had to worry again. I said to him, I didn't really say this to him. I've said this enough times that I think I said it to him. I wanted to say to him, Walt, I mean, I know that you couldn't have looked at it very carefully, but did you actually sign your income tax return every year? Because how could you not know you're making that kind of money? He was completely mystified. He knew she had a little money. I knew she had a little money because she came one time to my house and set up college plans for each of my 3 children and funded them. A non-trivial event. We did the same for my wife's sister's children. A non-trivial event. And I think she funded a couple of grandchildren. Yeah. Unbelievable.